Hello and welcome to another in the Ask the Data Governance Coach video series. And today's question is possibly a little bit of an opinion piece, which is not what I do so much, but it arose from attending the Gartner Data Analytics Summit in London earlier this year in May. And I find it's a really great event, really well run, but just sometimes the Gartner analysts have views that perhaps I don't necessarily agree with. And this is one of those occasions. So in the keynote, they started talking about data quality is dead. It's no longer needed. What we need is data readiness. And I could, not only me, but loads of people next to me were kind of going, well, that's a bit weird. And the guy went on to elaborate, and what he was actually talking about is actually what I consider data quality. So he was talking about data quality being everything being perfect, everything being complete and accurate, and everything's in valid formats and everything. And he was saying, but data doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, all singing or dancing. It just has to be ready to be used. And I think when you actually listen to him, he was talking about perhaps a pragmatic approach to data quality, which, to be fair, I've been advocating most of my data governance career. I will be really honest here and say in the first few years, I did say all our data must be perfect and we'll all live happily ever after. And that really didn't get me anywhere, because if we take that kind of stance, we're never going to get any work done. Whatever it is our organization does, we're not going to succeed because we're too busy trying to make sure the data's perfect. So nobody's ever going to agree to do that. I found that one out the hard way. But this Gartner analyst was talking as though that's what we're all running around doing. And I think we don't. I think if we're doing this properly and pragmatically, we're just looking for practical solutions. And we're saying to our business users, what makes this data good enough for you to use? And this is going to continue to be the case with AI. Now, of course, there's a little part of me that says our data's got to be perfect before AI is trained on it. But perhaps it doesn't have to be perfect. And if we insist on our data being perfect before we train any Gen AI models on it, then people are going to just walk around us, avoid us. We're going to become unnecessary obstacles, and they won't even use good enough data if we insist on perfect. So personally, I think you could consider data readiness an aspect of good data quality management, actually making our data good enough, ready to use, fit for purpose. I don't think that anybody has ever been successful in making all data perfect. Now, depending on what sector and what the data is, some of our data absolutely has to be perfect. If you think of pharmaceutical drug testing or patient data in a health setting, but even in those settings, there's other data that doesn't have to be perfect. So I think data quality should and always has been about making sure our data is good enough. And if you want to use the term data readiness, then feel free. I think personally, I'm going to stick to keep calling it data quality. And if you are interested in data quality and finding all the terms out there really confusing still, you might be interested in this video of mine where I covered the difference between data quality and data observability. And don't forget, I have a whole playlist dedicated to all the videos I've made on the topic of data quality, so be sure to check that out.